I just got a notification that we're live at 4 p.m. on Sunday. What
It's unusual.
gives?
Must be
Why did
something
you
big
drag
planned
me?
today.
Why did you drag me up at this ungodly hour?
Well, we are going to, well, first of all, stretch. Everybody wake up because we got a big show for you today. I dragged you all out to actually expose one of our favorite Council of Google Plus members, Andrew Rappaport. As many of you know, we've had some embroiled, bitter things going on Twitter. By the way, yes, I am actually banned from Twitter for 7 days because of a few posts that I had made, supposedly that violated their
Thank you,
rules.
Jesus.
Unbelievable.
My notifications
Luckily,
needed a rest.
I still have Facebook and I still have G Plus, so there's no rest for the wicked. But I can go a week without Twitter. Just whatever.
You said something interesting. You said Council of Google Plus. Am I the only one in asking the question? Just what in the hell a Council of Google Plus is?
The Council of Google Plus is basically a order on Google Plus of radicalized Calvinist who thinks that their interpretation of the Bible is the only one, and that anybody who disagrees with them is a heathen. It is headed by basically Bible thumping wingnut Tim and Matt Slick and Andrew Rappaport. Also, I think that is schism. I don't know the politics that they have, but they might have had a schism recently. But anyways, they are the sole arbitrators of morality, the sole arbitrators of whatever is righteous, the sole arbitrators of what isn't true when it comes to theology. They are the self-appointed righteous holy people of G+.
So Bible thumping wingnut is on this Council of Google Plus. I'm going to use this here and say that the Bible thumping wingnut is so dense that light bends around him, Steve.
Do you remember the video that he had on Stephen Hawking?
I quite do.
Yeah, so that was him. If people don't remember, after Stephen Hawking died, Bible thumping wingnut decided to let everybody know how much he was burning in hell. Didn't have any sympathy for this family. Didn't have any sympathy for the fact the man passed away. Didn't have any sympathy for the fact that the man was an icon in astrophysics and theoretical physics and what he gave back to science, especially in his condition. Nope, none of that mattered. It was that fact that he died in a non-belief state and he was going to hell to burn for eternity. This is the narrative that
that
these
wasn't
people
the
put
title
out.
of the video, though. That wasn't the title of the video. The video was that Stephen Hawking had a deathbed confession that he was he had confessed to believe in Jesus before he passed. That's what was so despicable about it.
I don't think so because the video I
Yeah,
saw with Tim was that he was burning in hell. I mean, they might have put another one out, but I don't remember that part, to be honest with you.
yeah,
That's
that's
still
what we
pretty
got so pissed off
despicable as
about.
well.
Yeah, I think it's worse.
Yeah.
But uh, okay, so what we're gonna do is we've kind of broken it up into two different sections, I guess, in
Yeah.
tackling his lies and his bigotry. Um, I got pulled into this probably 2 days ago. I was keeping my distance, and letting Steve have his little war and blow up
He
everyone's
lets me
Twitter
have fun.
notifications. But I got dragged into it when he decided to post a video entitled "Witnessing to LGBTQM plus," and we'll talk about what the M in that stands for once Steve gets finished. But I'm sorry, Andrew, you shouldn't have went to my neck of the woods, and now we've got to make an example out of you. So don't be a bitch; you won't get treated like one.
We got to do what we got to do, man.
But before we do that, we will put out to Andrew, if you are listening or watching, we do not believe in a platform where we sit here and we talk junk about you, which we're going to do, and it's not going to be really junk talk. We're just going to be pointing out factual events that have taken place that we've been able to witness, in which you have been either dishonest, blatantly homophobic, a bigot, a coward, all of that, all of it factual, all of it being able to be backed up. So you will not be able to say at the end of this that anything that we've said here today is not demonstrable. That's the first thing. Number two, we invite you here now. If you are listening and watching, and you want to come in and you want to, give your say and defend yourself, we welcome that. This was supposed to be meant originally as a debate between you and Steve. However, when Steve capitulated to your demands, I guess, and you didn't think that he would, he called you on that bluff, and you backed out. That's what this ultimately boils down to. So we are here because you are a coward. And if you'd like to not be a coward anymore, we open the doors and welcome you wholeheartedly. And with that, I will turn it over to
Perfectly said.
Steve to get going.
Yep, perfectly said. And yes, he's welcome to come in if he wants to try to even save. And by the way, none of this was a gotcha type stuff. I want to clarify before we even get into the facts of the matter, because I'm going to present this very matter of fact for the live audience. I want you, as the listeners, for you to determine if I have made my case beyond a preponderance of the evidence that this person has either lied or been completely untruthful in its interactions with me and everybody else on Twitter. So you guys are going to be the judge, and I want you to be unbiased. I really do. I know we have a lot of bias against that particular group. Put that to side if you can, and just go by exactly what I'm going to present to you, and you evaluate that. And if he wants to come in and try to have a shred of dignity left, he's more than welcome to. Okay. So, anyways, with that, let's just dive into the preliminaries, and I'm going to show you some screenshots that I took, and kind of walk you through the foundation of all this and where we're going to be going. We're going to be watching the video where he actually says all this stuff. So there's no chance of him saying that he never said anything, he never made these claims. And I gave him every opportunity to recant and say that he did make these claims. He may have been wrong. But the whole reason why I wanted to debate him was because he made numerous things and numerous stories over the year or 2 years that I've known him, and nobody's ever been able to call him out on it because he never leaves his echo chamber. So this has been something that's brewing for a very long time, not just with myself, but many other people that have watched some of his stuff. He will not back his claims. And so when I brought these claims to him, he refused to acknowledge that he even said them and actually called me a liar on them. So even if you think that he may have misremembered, he called me a liar. And so at that point, he definitely owes me an apology, I think, and I'm going to present that case to you now. So let's start with slide 1. David? Okay, so I presented him, and by the way, there's many claims, but I wanted these three to kind of stand out. So there's 3 claims that I presented him. One, he claims that scientists posit the Oort cloud to explain blue giants. I want you to all wrap your head around that. Not to explain just comets and long period comets, but to explain blue giants. He thinks that scientists kind of pull this out for some reason to explain how blue giants last millions of years, because that's, according to him, something that can't happen because he's a creationist, right? Number 2, Dr. Mary Schweitzer is an atheist. Okay. He claimed that Dr. Mary Schweitzer is an atheist. Not only did he claim that she was an atheist, he didn't even get her name right ever in this video. He mispronounced her name twice, and I mean egregiously so. And then he actually built a narrative up that the person he's having a conversation with, which we'll get into, didn't believe the atheist, because he was saying, this is the atheist scientist that's saying this. Well, she's not an atheist scientist. She's actually a very devout Christian. And I'm going to demonstrate to you as well that. And number 3, evolution is only a theory. His mantra is that evolution is only a theory, right? And of course, there's a lot of problems with that, because we all know it's more than just a theory. He doesn't accept evolution. And I wanted to ask him if he made that claim. And I will demonstrate that is on his webpage, in his own webpage on Striving for Eternity, that he says evolution is only a theory. So when he says that he doesn't make these claims, which he says, I did not make those claims, so it is a dishonest claim. Okay, so this is laying the groundwork.
But he's using theory in the completely wrong sense, or he's using that version of theory completely wrong. I mean, it's the same. It's equivalent to like the theory of gravity, the germ theory. Mm-hmm. Just because it says theory doesn't mean that it's they're just sitting around guessing. And I don't think he grasps that at all.
No, there's a lot of things he doesn't grasp. All right, next slide. Okay, so he once again says, no, Steve, you said that. You are the liar, because I never answered that, because I asked him these questions, right? And more than one occasion, if you go through my timeline, you can see I've asked him these questions. And I said, you said you never claimed that scientists posited the Oort cloud to explain blue giants. That is a lie. You said you never claimed Dr. Schweitzer was an atheist. That is a lie. And like I said, he does mispronounce her name brutally so, but it's clear from his context who he's referring to. And 3, you said I blocked you. That was a lie, and we'll get into that too, because he claimed that I blocked him, which I never did. And then he says, no, Steve, you said that. You are the liar. I never answered that. So next one. So I had a friend of mine, who I'm not going to get into details. I blocked out his name because I do know who he is now. I didn't know when he messaged me this was somebody I know from G+. So I assumed it was just some person, but I do know who he is now. But somebody just messaged me on Facebook and they said, "Is Rappaport the guy who thought blue giants and stars existed in the Oort cloud?" Okay, clearly I'm not just making this story up. If somebody else remembers it identically to I did. Okay, and this person remembered it identically to I did, well, similarly, because I thought it was a Kuiper belt at first, but I realized it was the Oort cloud because he found the video for me. So this person actually found the video for me where he actually said all this, because I didn't know at this time, as much as I do now, because I had watched the video a long time ago, but I didn't remember where to find it. He found it for me. So anyways, Andrew goes on to say, or one of your followers are trying to support you because you've been exposed again. So yes, this is one of the people that, off my Facebook says, "Oh, I'm going to back Steve up on this," right? What world does this guy live in? I get more shit from my friends than I do my enemies, and it's okay. I'm okay
I
with
have a
that.
general idea of what world he lives in.
Oh, it's bizarre. And then he's even goes on to say, "Oh, it's your imaginary friend." Then, so he's such a delusional person. He thinks that I may have made this up or something, right? That I made up an account to go on my Facebook to support my lie that he claimed these things, right? Next slide.
Something they would do.
Exactly. What's funny is if you go to Wiki right now, the Great Debate Community Wiki that you guys know that we keep. If you go under Andrew Rappaport, one of the things it says is something along the lines of king of projection, and this was over like a year ago. This was created. Most people have dealt with him realizes he is a master of projection, and that's what it says, master of projection, because this is exactly what he does. I think that everything he accuses other people of, he himself suffers from these things. He's a liar, and I think he's a bigot and all that stuff.
And
yeah,
something else that we'll get into later.
Yeah, we're getting into that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is why I think you're right on that, by the way. But we'll touch on that afterwards. All right, later on. Okay. So next slide is this. Okay, so no, you are purposely misrepresenting the claim since I've explained it several times. Therefore, you are purposely dishonest. First of all, he's never explained this. Not just myself, but Ocean and a few other people have asked him to explain himself on these things. He has never once, to my knowledge, left his isolated bubble chamber to go on any other show that I've seen, except for theist shows.
Question?
Yes. Oh,
why
Absolutely.
Why do people care enough to ask him what his opinion is? I mean, he's a sleazeball that I don't think has any original thoughts. Why the urge to get him to engage?
It's not so much what he does is he's basically Matt Slick's ball washer, right? And I'm going to go on record. Sure. If you get Matt away from the theological stuff, Matt is actually pretty cool. I happen to enjoy talking to Matt Slick. I forgive me, I'm sorry, but I happen to enjoy talking to the guy. Yeah, I do. I really do. He's very funny. And if you get him away from the theological bullshit, he's actually a cool dude. But he's just practically wrong on some other things. But I'm not going to diss on Matt, okay? But sure. He's like the co-host. He like fields the question for Matt, right? He acts as like I'm the gatekeeper. I'm going to be like allowing you to come on the show and you could talk to Matt, right? That's his role. Nobody gives a shit what he thinks.
But still, I'm gonna ask the question again. Why is that a goal? We all know how those conversations go with Matt.
All they do is mute people. All they do is boo people. All they do is talk over. They never allow people to make their case. And if anybody shows any of them up, they get rid of them. They've had people on there that I know were kicking their ass, and they were like, "Oh, we got to go and move on to another caller." It's very dishonest approach. It really is.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So next slide. He says, "LOL, you started attacking me with claims other than people made." He actually says that these claims that I'm going to show you, other people made. The Oort cloud, the Mary Schweitzer, evolution is only a theory. He says that other people made these claims. It wasn't him. And I asked him, who was it? Who are you going to throw under the bus? He never did throw anybody under the bus. But at least I don't remember. I think he might have said Matt, but I will have to check my notes. And then you lied and changed the rules and you called me a bully. Wow, I wanted silence, but you claimed I was running. So I stayed and you insulted and attacked with falsehoods. Dude, you were projecting again. Yes, projecting. I don't think he knows the meaning of the word because he's the epitome of, you pronounced it right, projection. He's king of projection. Anyways, so I asked him, epitome. I said, just to clarify, again, I'm not trying to entrap him, and I figured I'm going to steal man. I'm going to ask him as many times as possible. Make sure that you're saying what you need to say because I have the evidence. People actually told him I actually have the video. I didn't hide it from him. So just to clarify, it was someone else, not you, who claimed that according to scientists that the Oort cloud produced blue giants. If it was not you, then who was it? Who do you want to throw under the bus here? Next slide. And I asked him, will you defend your claims from your own page? Because one of the things, one of the initial things was evolution is only a theory. If you go to Striving for Eternity on his blog, it says, remembering that evolution is only a theory, it is not a fact. That is exactly what it says. You can go look, it's still there. And I said, will you defend that it's only a theory? He says, no, I will not defend a consent attempt to try to make me defend something other than of your false meaning in my words. Wait a minute. I'm not even giving him so far anything reading into his words. I'm claiming that he said this, and he's claiming that he did not say it. Right? So next slide.
Well, he didn't. His website did, Steve.
Yeah, he wrote. Okay, so
Technical.
that gets a little more in the detail. So he said, well, yeah, he did say something about Matt. He said, no, not true. You want to debate me based on Anthony's claims and Matt's claims. And that means Anthony Silvestro, who wrote a shitty ass book called On the Origin of Kinds, where he thinks potassium, the symbol for potassium is letter P. He didn't even know it was K. And he's writing a book on science, right? He got so much things wrong in that book. And we wanted him to come on and defend it. And anybody from the Council of Google Plus said he would love to come on. No, they actually said, Steve, he'll love to come on and defend his book. We said, great. We're still waiting. And he says, I don't have anything to defend. Well, you wrote a book that's crap. We would like you to defend it.
That's what they do. It's exactly what Andrew does over the course of this week. Is he continues to state that he is wanting to have this discussion, and when cornered down on a date, he finds a loophole or a way to weasel out of it. That's indicative of somebody that has zero ground to stand on. Period.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he said, and I asked him again, steel manning as much as possible. You claim the Oort cloud was posited by scientists to explain blue giants. Not Anthony, nor Matt. You did. He says, where? In a hangout with Matt. Are you denying it? I ask him. Next. Somebody else chimes in. Also, since it's been brought up a bunch, what is it you said about regarding the Oort cloud? I've been scrolling through your tweets and I haven't seen anything on it. He says, quote, nothing on this thread. It is Steve making stuff up to avoid reality. So he's thinking I'm completely making this claim up, that I've somehow pulled out the most ridiculous claim I can think of and say, oh, I'm just going to somehow magically think that Andrew Rappaport thinks that the Oort cloud was positive to explain blue giants. I'm sorry, I'm not the creative one in this relationship. Like here, I mean, Kyle can come up with creative shit. I'm not that good.
Avoid reality.
You know?
Avoid reality is the
projection,
the humdinger in that sentence right there. There's only one party that's avoiding reality, as you'll see as we go along, and
absolutely,
it's not on this side.
Absolutely, and I, so far as a live chat following along. Okay, next one. Sorry, coffee going down the wrong pipe. He says, I said neither. Port clouds, and it's spelling error. I'm going to give him that, right? Port clouds have to do with comets. Very good. So it is sad that you guys are so dishonest. It shows how weak your arguments are, that you cannot address what I actually say and have to lie over and over again. Steve, you have lied about a dozen times about me on this thread. Wow. Now, take note of this. He has actually said that I've lied about this, and he thinks that arguments are weak because we are dishonest, and I had to make up some claim saying that he said it. Now, again, we'll show you the video, his words. And I even transcribed his words. I even wrote them out and said, this is what you said, because he knows I have the video. Doesn't matter. He's that much in denial that he said these things. Even when I showed him, I didn't show him the video, but I showed him this is your words, right? All right, next. Out of context with the way you're trying to use them. Why are you so dishonest? Is it that your views are so weak that you have to resort to dishonest means? Now, remember, this guy's a young Earth creationist. I've done this for a very long time. Kyle, do you think I'm scared of any young Earth creationists? Have you ever seen me walk away from young Earth creationists or run from any of them?
Yes,
has anybody?
Yes.
Besides, okay, no, not even George. Mr. Intelligent Design is the only one I've ran from with good reason.
George too.
We all should run. No, I'll gauge with George.
George was convincing. And I mean, he It made you look bad that evening, Steve. It's
I don't
okay.
think Mr. ID is
Okay.
actually a young Earth creationist. I'm not sure what he is, but I don't think he's that.
Well, I mean, I don't. Maybe. No, he is. I've asked him before. He said he is. Again, I could be wrong, but anyways, he's like one of the very few kind of want to keep it a distance. But anyways, so how am I taking it out of context? Do you or do you not think remembering that evolution is only a theory is not a fact? Is this true? I say it is not only a theory, and it is a fact that evolution happens and has happened for 3.8 billion years. I'm getting conservative in that ballpark. And he says, I'm merely calling you out for your own claim. Or I say, I'm merely calling out for your own claim, Andrew. Will you back it up like you claim in the Oort cloud was brought up by to explain blue giants? Will you ever back up that claim either? Next slide. And he says, when was that? On a debate on my GOC Plus, that never happened. And I think the next slide actually shows it really bigger. So, okay, so I blew it up. And keep in mind, he said that never happened, right? It's not like he's saying, hey, you know what? I don't remember that. It's, you know what? I don't know what you're referring to, but I don't believe that. Not denying it, not anything. He doesn't even dismiss the claim. He just says, Steve, you're lying, right? He goes right to that. Right? He doesn't say you're misunderstanding. He doesn't say I don't remember saying that. Can you provide me evidence? Nothing along those lines. It is just straight to that never happened. You are lying.
If you think
that's the thing.
honestly that the Oort cloud has anything
Not
to
yet. Not
do
yet. Not yet.
with
Not
the
yet.
fudge,
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Next slide.
They're so used to being like dishonest or believing gullible things that they convince themselves in this weird way where things that happened before what they're talking about didn't happen, and they're able to just arbitrarily say, "Oh no, never happened," even though there's obviously, as Steve's going to show you, proof that it did happen. In black and white.
Do you see a pattern there?
Color.
I mean, you see a pattern with these people when they have overwhelming evidence against them, they still are in denial. But he said, I'm not avoiding you. Stop lying. And I said, like you accused me of lying about the scientists positing the Oort cloud to explain blue giants. And I said, how absolutely scientifically literate does one have to be to claim that scientists posit the Oort cloud to explain blue giants? I mean, it's not even a coherent thing. Let's ask an actual astrophysicist that question. And I asked John that question, Dr. Kroon. So, Dr. Kroon, what did Dr. Kroon say about this, David? Now you can play the audio.
if you think honestly that the Oort cloud has anything to do with a fudge factor to help explain blue O and B stars, and you have no explanation for that logic, if you can even call it that, and you have no citations or references, any studies or observations that even remotely begin to support an outlandish and ridiculous, irrational and illogical assertion, then you have no leg to stand on, sir.
He should
he's
do
basically
ASMR.
saying you're an idiot. I know, it's
He should
nice,
do ASMR. Huh? I'm so relaxed after that. You know what I'm tired
He's
of?
got a good voice.
What I'm tired of with and people like Andrew really feel that fire. I'm tired of these people that constantly do this, that constantly lie, that constantly make shit up, that constantly are showing signs of hatred and bigotry towards other people. They think they get to claim the moral standing. They think they are what people should strive to be morally. They think they are doing what God's work is by going out and telling other people that they need what they have. No, they don't. Actually, they need to get rid of a lot of what they have because they're dishonest, hateful bigots. Period.
Agreed. Okay, so this one I'm going to move to the next claim. This was about Dr. Mary Schweitzer, and many of you guys know I've had Dr. Mary Schweitzer on my own channel. We had a wonderful interview with her. She was one of my favorite all-time guests, the most pleasant woman you've ever want to talk to. She was more than accommodating. She was educated. She was articulate. She was a scientist, and she was absolutely a thrill to talk to. And he says, I claimed she's not a Christian. Two different things. Not all non-Christians are atheists. And he's right. Not all non-Christians are atheists. But he claimed she's not a Christian. No, he claimed she was an atheist. And it chastised somebody for not knowing that and chastised them for not accepting the fact. Here's an atheist scientist saying that we discovered red blood cells, which another claim that he was wrong about. She never claimed that we discovered red blood cells, but you'll see in the video, I didn't include on the slides, but in the video, he actually claims Dr. Schweitzer discovered red blood cells and claims that. She never did. And I'll prove that to you as well. So I said, you claimed she's an atheist. Next slide. Somebody else joins in. He claimed you did. So in truth, what happened is he's still trying to weasel his way out of debating you. What an arrogant, dishonest asshole. It is starting to look like you're exposing Hangout might be back of the table here. So he's claiming that I'm somehow trying to get out of debating him. And yet I've done everything to bend over backwards to try to get a debate with him. And I gave him a list of 6+ things that he could pick from, right? I said, I want to debate you on either polonium halos, because him and Matt Slick both have used polonium halos to give evidence for a young Earth. He has since kind of recanted a little bit. He now goes, well, I'm not sure, which means that he doesn't believe that is good evidence, right? If he's not saying that it is or isn't, that means he doesn't hold a belief that is good evidence. So he's backed away a little bit about it, only because I've called him out on it. And I've called Matt Slick on it as well. Yeah.
And let me interject for a second. I think we could do something a little bit different today, since it's just you and I, and we're kind of doing a laid back go through. We'll read the super chats as they come in, so that maybe that can be a part of the conversation. If people
will you do that? Yeah. Go ahead and read the ones we have. If you can do that.
Well, I'll go back. I'll go back and get the ones that were before this one. So from this one on, Dave says Eve was the first not to read the Apple terms and agreements. That's very funny. That's very funny.
That is good, actually.
So yeah, we'll read those as they come in, and then
okay.
I'll get the ones that came in beforehand at the end, because I can't go back and pull those up right now.
Okay, and he basically, I found out this guy was telling me that he accused me of blocking him, right? And I said, hell no, why would I block him? I can read every comment he makes, and he could read mine. Why would I want me to screenshot? I'm like, why would I block this guy? I have no reason to block Andrew. I want to see what he has to say so I can expose him. Next slide. He says, striving for eternity. That's, by the way, is Andrew. Steve is misrepresenting me and knows it, but blocked me, so we can't set up a debate. So now we have the proof that Steve is running. This is my account. I don't have him blocked. He can read my things because he actually responds to me, right? And so I say he's lying his ass off. I absolutely in no way blocked him. Where is this so I can tag him, because this guy's sending me this particular tweet that I must have missed. And it's funny is I had asked him for a screenshot. If I blocked you, you will have a screenshot of that, because we all know how Twitter works, right? The people that have Twitter. If somebody blocks you, you can just screenshot. I do it all the time and put it on my timeline. That's all I had to do was
apparently he doesn't know how it works.
Apparently not. He's only been on for, I think, 12 years or something, 8 years. He's been on a long time. He still doesn't know how to figure it out. But we all know that that's what the screen comes up. So as evidence, right, I asked him, okay, well, show that I blocked you. How hard is that, right? You would think that would be an easy thing to do. Next slide.
What a dope.
I'm telling you, he doesn't think these things through. He lies so much that they just can't keep him straight, because he doesn't realize that I'm a lot better at this than he is, and I will call him out on it. This is why he knows he doesn't want to defeat me. He knows I will demolish him.
And this is the guy that I'm supposed to take advice from about my eternal soul and what happens to it when I die. He can't even navigate Twitter. Next, no, thank you.
Yeah. So he says Steve is misrepresenting me, but okay, that was just the other one. I went to the actual thread that he was on. Now this is my account. This is actually my account, so I can see what he's writing. He can read what I'm writing. Next slide. He says, well, I do not know Twitter well. He's only been, like, I don't know how long he's been on. Somebody had mentioned it. I think it was like 8 years or 12 years. And go look how long.
That's the first honest thing he said.
But he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't know Twitter well after all these years. He says Steve did something where he can respond to everybody, but I can't see it. No, I have no control over that, dude. I just can't. The only control I have is that you can't see my account if I blocked you, which I didn't. And Christopher here says, brilliantly so, same thing that I said, is this is super easy. Just post a screenshot that demonstrated that Steve has blocked you. If he has, you will have evidence. If he hasn't, you will have nothing to show. Go look. He never blocked.
I wonder which way it went.
To literally the surprise of no one, right? And I said, I know he can't show a screenshot of it because I never blocked him, and he can't fake it. I'm 100% positive that I never blocked him, right? So I would know. Next slide. And I said, hey, Andrew, if I blocked you, how can I read and respond to you here? Screenshot where it says I blocked you. You're a liar. Now, I think, though, I'm going to be honest here. There is a way that I could block somebody and still see them. You can say, it'll say, do you wish to continue kind of thing. So it is possible I can see somebody if I blocked them. But I'll show you that he's seen my tweets because he responded to me. Next.
Yeah, that's the thing. He wouldn't be able to see yours on his end.
Right. And he responds to me because when we start talking about establishing a date, and this was all on the same day kind of thing. And I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I said, he says, explain why I can't see his comments without going to your comment to see it. Either something blocked, either way he did something to not have me see his comments because he's running. I have not done shit, I said. You probably have me muted. The only thing I can think of, right? Next.
He keeps saying running. Like, does he not know what running means? Running means that you don't engage. Like, you run away. You're responding to every comment that the Momo puts up there.
I don't know how much I'm running to him. I'm literally going to him and going, debate me, dude. He says, yeah, it is nowhere on the thread unless I go to your feed. So sorry, that shot was in between. So I understand you do not want to be fair with me because you're intolerant, but facts are against you. The facts are against you. You're going to see how much of a projection that is here in a minute.
He doesn't know what evidence means. He doesn't know what facts means. He doesn't know what running means. He doesn't know what
a lot of words
means.
He doesn't get right.
You responded so much, Steve, you got Twitter banned. So just saying.
Yeah, thank you. And by the way, somebody had to report that. And by the way, they weren't even that bad. I put them on my Facebook. They weren't like I called them anything that bad. I think one of them I called him a pussy. But it's like, holy crap! This is you think that these are like harassment? And somebody says nonsense. If you're what? Go ahead.
They told you that you were trying to quiet a voice, right? That was the official. Right.
Yeah, because I had asked Katie. I said, Katie, you may want to write about this, and somehow that got translated to I'm trying to silence his voice. Whatever.
Jesus Christ.
Nonsense. If you're blocked, you wouldn't be able to see him anywhere. Next. And this is the best. This is the best. Now, pay attention to this, people. Kyle, will you please read this one if you can? Because I know it's kind of low quality, but can you read that?
Nonsense. If you were blocked, you wouldn't see him.
No, the next one. The next slide. This one.
Oh, not true. I have seen tweets from blocked people. Oh, so he's like the little kid from The Sixth Sense. He sees dead tweets. He sees dead tweets.
Kyle, help me out here. Help me out here. What the frick is he talking about?
There's nothing. There. You can make excuses for some people. Some people are just to the level of just complete. They haven't had the burden of education. Let's put it that way. They have not been burdened with a thorough education, and anybody that everything he says is wrong. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this guy except for literally everything that he says, everything that he does, everything that he responds to, the words that he uses to respond to people, the way that he uses words to describe situations that are happening are not at all what those words should be. Instead of saying stop running, Steve, it should be stop calling me out on my bullshit, Steve. Or
I think that's your code for that, isn't it?
I can't see your tweets because they're blocked. It should be I can't see your tweets because I don't want to see the next challenge that you're putting out there that I'm going to have to try to dodge in some shape or form. I mean, it's just bizarre.
I mean, we all have the people that have Twitter. Have you ever seen blocked tweets? No, you don't see some of these blocked tweets. That's why they're called blocked. Next. Now, I want you to really think about that, though, guys. I mean, that's what level he's at. So DM Spence, people know him as Dave S, said, although it'd be less than a debate, more like an intellectual massacre and masterclass in how to destroy every part of an argument, but for the sake of convenience, let's call it a debate. That's unless Matt Slick is scared of the big bad DM Spence like Andrew Rappaport is. This guy is wanting to debate Matt Slick. He's recognizing that Andrew's running, and Andrew says, go ahead.
I was going to say, Scientist Mel says, Andrew logic. If I close my eyes, they can't see me. Well said.
Exactly. That's exactly very well said. Striving through eternity. Andrew says, well, you guys started with started with coming on Apologetics Live, so we'll wait for you. Now, Apologetics Live is his call-in show. That's a hangout that he turns into a podcast. And you'll see if you go through any of the timelines, at no time did I ever say that I would be on this Thursday. Or this was last Thursday. No time. The only time I said I'd be on his show on Thursday if and only if he debated me. I said that once, and I didn't mean that last Thursday. I meant I would be on some episode. I couldn't that Thursday. And I'll explain to you why. But I said, where? Who said that? We told him we had Soul Phone tonight at 8 p.m., which was us Thursday. We have our schedule 4 weeks at least in advance. I mean, we knew we had a show to do that night. Why would I tell him I'm going to be on his show?
The only thing I can say about him in this situation is that at least he's consistent with how stupid he is.
Extremely so. I give him props for that.
That's his one saving grace. I've never seen somebody be more consistently dumb than what I'm seeing right now.
And by the way, Miss Snarky makes a good point. She says the only way you can see blocked tweets is incognito or copy or paste the link. But you have to go out of your way to do that. You have to literally circumvent the system. You can make another account and make see block tweets at that point, right? So he's not doing any of that. Unless he's going out of his way to somehow see my tweet. But at that point, then why is he accusing me of blocking him? It makes no sense.
Well, weren't you a high school math and science teacher for 15 years? Dave asks.
I am a math teacher because I tutored my daughter in math years ago when she was learning about numbers.
Great, and I am a rocket engineer because I saw one go up into space.
We're well-read people here and studied. We know our shit. So I watched a YouTube video once on this stuff, though.
Goddamn right.
I stayed at the what is it, the Hilton or the Marriott? What makes you smart? Staying somewhere.
I think
I stayed at a Marriott Inn
or Red Roof Inn. Red Roof Inn.
They're awesome. Yeah. So I said, so we are on for Sunday. I assume yes. Next slide. Watch. He will not show Thursday. Apologetics Livecom. Well, of course I wasn't going to show. I told him I'm not going to be there. I got a show tonight to do. Soul Phone. Which takes precedence because I really looking forward to do that show. So
maybe he's
this illusion going on. He got it right. I give him that. He got it right, correct?
Well done, sir.
Yeah, bravo.
Soul Phone's hiring.
The first thing he got right so far. You know what? He maybe should go, and he believes in that shit. So probably thinks it's true. Probably thinks they're
to their A team with Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, and Andrew Rappaport. God, what could they not achieve then? Shane says, does he remind you of my ex Bobby? LOL. I don't know your ex, Bobby,
okay,
Steve.
I do though. Yeah, I do. Yeah, somewhat. I'm sorry. I had to block Shane's ex. Okay, and he knows why, and he totally agrees with it. No offense to Shane, because he's cool. His ex is really a nutter. I'm sorry, he's just batshit, dude. So yeah, I can see the relationship there. I see where he's getting with that. Yeah.
Okay. Then Dustin Furnace says science and religion used to understand God. Now they're becoming mortal enemies. Facts are facts with or without God. Change your God because the facts won't change for your opinions. And then without a crystal ball says Andrew refused to respond to Steve, but responded to me and said that you blocked him. Then said you were changing the rules for the debate. So I called him an a-hole. And I'm going to assume that the A in that means awesome hole, right?
And we'll get into that a little bit as well. And somebody had said that I've used if and only if. Yeah, so I sound like a mathematician by doing that. But there was one other comment that I wanted to address real quick. Holiday Inn Express. Thank you, Iconoclast. It was Holiday Express. Okay, so now I got to go back to my own notes here. Next slide, I think. Yes, right. Okay. And he says, I will be there Thursday night if Steve shows or not. Well, it's your show. I'd expect you to be there for your own show.
Yeah. Well,
like he got it right though, right? Come on, you got to give the small shit, dude.
That's like me saying. I'll just go on. I can't even. If I stop to comment on everything stupid that he did, we'd be here forever.
It's kind of like giving him a participation award. Okay, come on. So I said, well, duh, I have my own show to do at 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. So no, I won't be there, and I won't be on your show until you debate me. Screen capping this. So when you accuse me of being a coward and not showing, I can show everyone what a lying piece of shit you are. And I made a prediction. I even said that he's going to basically go on his show, or I found out he did. I mean, I haven't watched his show yet, so nobody's told me he's actually said it on his show. But he did say in tweets and afterwards that I was a coward, which we're going to get into. But I even predicted that this is what he was going to do, right? I even said I'm not going to be there, and he's going to go around saying that I was a coward, right? So I'm either psychic and I should get the JREF $1 million prize, or he's just predictable as fuck.
And I like Awesome Hole too, Dave. Absolutely.
Awesome Hole's good.
Keep it.
Next slide. Okay, I don't know why I added that one. So it's the same thing. Next. And if you look at our calendar, by the way, you can go to www.nonsec.show.com and you can look at our schedule. I know a lot of people may not know that. We actually have our own webpage, www.nonsec.com, and you can see our podcast, you can see our guests, you can see upcoming events.
Pictures.
So when people, dick pics. We have a lot of dick pics.
Yep.
Kyle's. Yeah, you don't want to see mine. But it said, what does it say right here, Kyle? I mean, did we not have a show that night? I mean, it's like
I don't think we.
people can
I
go.
don't think we did. I don't think.
Yeah,
we,
I think
actually,
we just
it
imagined
makes
it.
a lot more sense to me that if you look at our track record in shows throughout the week, it makes much more sense that we did not have a show scheduled on that Thursday, and that it was just you using that as an excuse to not show up for Apologetics Live with Andrew Rappaport.
Actually,
And it's funny. One second, you know what's really the funniest part is Apologetics Live is not even to talk to Andrew. It's just him fielding questions to Matt, and he's like, "You're scared to talk to Matt." I'm like, "Have you seen me not talk to Matt? I've had Matt on my channel twice. He's not scared to come on my channel. You can say what you want about Matt Slick, but Matt Slick will even leave his echo chamber and come to my channel. And Andrew won't. So what does that tell you?
Appealing to channel, Steve. You're just appealing to channel fallacy.
I was going to say,
David, I'm sorry.
we might not have had a show because I remember a lot of monotone speaking that night, but I'm not sure there was actual show. The guy was kind of boring.
It's something. It was a simile of a show. It was something resembled one. It was basically a guy trying to convince people that he can talk to the dead with literally no data to support it and no understanding of science whatsoever. In a nutshell.
Still more credible than Andrew Rappaport.
Still more credible. I'm more likely to believe the soul phone than anything Andrew says. And after we're done with this show today, I think you guys are in the same boat because we're just getting started. This is just preliminary. Why don't you watch the video? And then Kyle's going to eviscerate him on other things. Like, oh my God. So I made a prediction that he will go on a show, and I even time-stamped it, telling his listeners, that I ran from him. That's anyone. Now, again, I have no validation what he said on that particular episode because I don't listen to his shit. But he definitely went on Twitter and said this. Next slide. Show is over, and yep, Steve McRae never showed. Well, we all knew he was a coward.
Oh, if only we knew why Steve McRae didn't show up to Apologetics. What was it again? Apologetics Live.
You're just jealous because I'm psychic. That I have demonstrated my psychic abilities here. That I said he would say I was a coward in the show.
Matt Slick sounds like a Huey Lewis cover band. That's one way to put it. I can think of several others.
We're almost done with the slides, guys. We'll get to the video. Trust me. And then Dr. Misha Griffith, who's been paying attention, said he told you he had a show tonight and could not be there. You failed to read his message. And by the way, he did read it. And because he said, this is what he responded. Listen to this. That was days after he said he wanted to be on to address Matt. So he did read my message. And no, I didn't ever say I wanted to address Matt on his show. I said I at some point later on, I said, I wouldn't mind. I don't care. But I never said to him, I will go on your show to have a discussion with Matt. I'll go on your show to talk to you, Andrew. You. Now, I'm not afraid of Matt because I've engaged with him. If you go on my channel, there's a P or not P video where I've engaged with him. And yeah, he doesn't scare me. He knows nothing about science. It's just as illiterate as you are in it, which you're going to be seeing here coming up here in a minute.
Hold on. Somebody in the live chat said posting on your calendar could have been made a minute ago, not evidence. Go fuck yourself, whoever you are.
What's wrong with these people, right? Yeah, I mean, we have a schedule that we put out 4 weeks in advance. We had the show that night.
Like I give that much of a fuck about Andrew Rappaport that I would
Jesus
bother myself with
Christ.
having to rig up a calendar. Get the fuck out of here.
No shit, right? I mean,
Honestly.
and we had the show that night, so the calendar matches that. And how long have we been
What an
promoting
idiot.
it? For how many weeks out? You know,
Like,
you've
do
got to
you
be a
think before
dumbass
you
to have that kind
comment?
of reason. No shit.
Jesus Christ. I bet you believe in
Wow.
Jesus, don't you? I know you believe in Jesus.
Okay, so I asked for a screenshot of that to Matt, and Dr. Misha Griffith says, you agreed to the topic already, said you wanted to be on your show. He switched to his show, and you said no. So anyways, that's super chat. And then next slide.
Even I've debated Matt Slick. He's intro apologetics.
Yeah, no, he really is. He gets a lot of shit wrong, but he knows his theological terminology exceptionally well. I mean, he's a master at that because he's an apologist. But when it comes down to reason, doesn't know shit. Anyways, hence the reason I'm asking for clarification is Steve refuses to provide it, and he does not actually want to debate. Just like he failed to show last night to discuss it. Anybody who's followed me on Twitter has said Steve wants to debate you, dude. I'm still thrilled to death if he wants to debate. But only on the topics that I gave him because I can call out his bullshit on him. Next. And I said, lying for Jesus again. How many times was he told I had a real show to do? Because he gets about 12 listeners. We get about, we got 255. He has 12. How pathetic can you get? This is the type of batshit this is what batshit religiosity does to your brain. Pay attention. This is the outright lying that makes people atheist and anti-theist, and I stand by that. The type of narrative that people like Andrew Rappaport put out does more damage to Christianity than, I'm sorry, any atheist I've ever seen can do. People like him and other similar mindset apologists literally make people move away from religion and make them atheist. I stand by that wholeheartedly.
Dean asked me.
Oh yeah. Yep.
What's that, Dave?
Very true. Dean Esme.
Kyle agrees.
Dean Esme.
Dean Esme is a perfect example. Exactly. G-Man's a perfect example. All these people are perfect examples. They don't bring people. Have you guys asked me? Let me ask you guys a question. And it's a little off topic, and I'm sorry, but I do want an answer. Have you ever seen any of these people convert anybody to their side? Or is all their bullshit just to maintain the status quo and keep the people that already believe them believing?
It's a security blanket for adults. That's what it is. They think they have the right one and that everybody else is wrong, and they won't rest until everybody sees through their own bullshit to the big gift and the glory that they have brought. Why won't these people listen to me? Why? I'm bringing a message of it's right in front of your face, and they get so blinded in their own personality, their own ministries, or whatever their brand is. That's the thing that I notice. When you have somebody that's hardcore behind a brand, it becomes less about the individual as a whole and more about making sure that you are seen as something different, and that makes fractures and it splits people up, and that's what's I think led to a huge decline in religion today.
I think you're right. And like I said, if anybody knows any story of anybody that's gone to their side, please let me know, because I've never seen it happen. And I've had my YouTube channel since March of 2013. So
hold on, Max.
5 years.
Max, I didn't.
Yeah, go ahead and read Max.
Okay, sorry, Max. I didn't do that on purpose. Whoever that said that about the calendar had me hot under the collar.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
Kyle, I want to come visit you in the near future and hijack the non-sec in the process, because it's a good show and all good things are mine. I wish I could do a who's the guy that said out of my cold dead hands? What's that guy's name? The actor?
Was that Charlton Heston or
Yes, Max. Out of my cold dead hands. Bitch.
Who was it? Charlton Heston or Charles Bronson or one of those guys?
I think it was Charlton Heston, I believe. At the NRA.
It could have been. I think so. Okay, next slide. He says, okay, great. You agree to my terms. So when you'll be on Apologetic Live Thursday night with Matt, looking forward to it. That is not your terms. Nice try. Matt Slick, your boy here is lying for Jesus and breaking the 9th commandment. I will not be on Thursday. And until Andrew meets the conditions of me being on his show, for was him debate me first. So it was conditional. I don't think he knows what a conditional means. And the conditional
Tell
was,
Daddy
I will be on
Slick.
your show if and only if you debate me. Oh, Matt was like, Steve, you just kind of hurts your argument when you're being aggressive. I'm like, Matt, I love you, dude. Fuck off. I'm like, have you seen, don't tell me that I'm the
This is so
aggressive one when this
bizarre.
fucking person is telling me that I'm a liar, I'm a coward, and you're going to chastise me on my own page, Matt? Not going to
This is
happen.
so strange.
Yeah,
This is what religion. This is what religion and fundamentalism does to you. It makes you,
yes.
in a way that most adults don't act like. Most adults don't go about like this for 4 or 5 days, lying over and over again, making up things that somebody said that they didn't say, running off to your I don't even know what scripture daddy, I guess Matt Slick would be, your precept daddy.
That's a good way of putting it.
He's being mean to me. Like, adults don't act that way. Like, grow up. If you want to debate somebody, debate them. If you don't, have the balls to say, I'm not interested, or
I do that all the time. People
I
want to
don't
debate me.
want
I'm
to
like, I'm
debate.
not interested. I do that all the time.
Jesus.
Matter of fact, I've only had 2 debates. This was the 3rd debate that I'm going to do. Maybe if you count John on Monday debate, I don't know. I don't care whether it's a debate or not. I'm looking forward to talking to John about DNA being a code on Monday. I don't think it's a debate. I think John and I actually agree on more stuff we disagree. So I think it's more of a discussion to suss things out. But officially debates, this would have been my 3rd official debate that I've ever had. So I don't do it very often. But when I do, I will annihilate you.
Can we start calling Matt Slick Matt M-word? They both sound icky. It makes me shudder to say that M-word. I can't do it.
Oh, I'm not reading that. That's just wrong, Mel.
Ugh. I need a shower now.
I feel all dirty. All right. So I said, you claim it's already a theory, right, Andrew? No, I claim it is a theory. Now, do you want to debate it or not? You have to take the position that it's not a theory. Now we're moving on to another claim. Very carefully pay attention here. This is your blog, Andrew. Remember that evolution is only a theory. It is not a fact. So another lie by you. Okay? Yeah, I just realized that the slide updated. Okay, so I'm going to blow this up in the beginning, the bottom part here, so you can actually read this. I know it's very hard to read. Next.
Okay, hold on one
Evolution.
second. Hold on 1 second, Steve. Let me get this this long one out of the way.
Yep.
Intellectual iconoclasm says lying and equivocating pricks like yesterday with 10 Bruggenkate saying, paraphrase, I won't entertain that argument because it's heretical. No intellectual or in intestinal. Yeah, I don't know. Man, this weekend has worn me out. Fortitude and integrity. I screwed up on intestinal. I was trying to intestinal.
Again,
I need a drink.
I'm weird. I happen to like talking to Cy. Other people don't. I think I can destroy him, and I use him as a sounding board. He's actually a nice guy, though. Again, I don't want to make things personal with people if I don't have to. I'm not personal with Cy. I'm not personal with Matt Slick. I'm just not. And by the way, he's trying to get us Eric Coven, who I'm not personal with either. I've been engaged with him. But this is personal with Andrew, and I'm going to explain to you kind of why as we go. But there's some personal stuff here. But it says, remembering that evolution is only a theory, it's not a fact. And if you look at the website, strivingforeternity.org. That is Andrew Rappaport's webpage. That is his blog. So he did make this claim. And next. We're almost done, guys. Got about 5 slides left. Somebody says he changed nothing, just a commonly used creationist argument to try to undermine evolution. It's a shit argument, and basically you're arguing what evolution is a fact or not. Spoilers, it is. And he says, he added the word only. No, only was in his blog. Me, evolution is a theory. Steve, evolution is only a theory. No, once again, these are your words in your blog. This is why I called you out for it. He says, see the difference, and since you admit that the guy sees more than you guys see something more in that word, he changed the game for the 4th time. And I remind him, these are your words, right? And I was willing to debate him on that, but he was insistent that he wanted to debate evolution as a theory. Next slide. And this isn't kind of relevant too much, but I wanted to include it to show you guys just how illiterate he is. He says, I use evolution one way. The chains of a lake for, he says, I wrote that. He says, and he refused to understand that when I'm referring to, I got to read this. I'm sorry. And he refused to understand what I'm referring to, and he knows it. Evolution is being used 2 different ways by him. The screenshot is speaking of general evolution, not special evolution. Okay, just let that marinate over you. Let that flow over you.
Must have been difficult for him to exhaust his entire vocabulary in that one
Boy,
sentence.
Einstein Einstein was really busy in that when he wasn't working on relativity.
Yeah, he was working on biology too, clearly, or something, right?
Steve is not always kind in debates.
No, I'm not. I will obliterate you.
But not Steve will always beget a not non-Steve, a not nice Steve, and a nice Steve will always be a nice Steve.
Yeah, my daughter's a not Steve, so. But I said I use evolution one way. The change of allelic frequency or heritable traits in a given population of species from one generation to the next over time. The theory of evolution explains evolution by diversification. That's how I use it. That's how most people use it. There is no special or general theory of evolution. Okay, where he may have got that from is called the third way. So if anybody who thinks they're smart and they want to go, oh, let me go Google this, all you're going to find is something called the third wave. And the third way is just a bunch of freaking weird people wanting to establish this narrative that there's a general and special theory of relativity. It does not exist in biology. So if you think you're going to be clever by going, oh, look, Steve's wrong, I'm already way ahead of you on this. Okay, next.
Somebody's triggered.
Please, I said, please, everybody. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You're the one unwilling to leave because your lies will be exposed. I gave you the link and date and time. You have not invited me to anything to run from. So you do not show, then everybody knows it is you that is hiding. By the way, I'm really having a hard time reading this. Somebody says, you're incredibly dishonest. I've seen him several times invite you to the non-sex show, which I have, to debate him. After which case he will appear on your echo chamber. What is wrong with you? That's exactly it. That's exactly what happened. I said, please have everyone note this, that I am 100% willing to go on his show again. And what I meant by again is that I've been on his channels, not necessarily Apologic.com or whatever that is, because he's had so many variations of shows. So I've been on his channel. Well, Bible Thumb Wingnut, who Andrew Report was on. And he debates me on the non-sex show, and he claims I am running. Can everybody see this? So, again, I'm laying my foundation on my casework. Got 3 slides left. Let's go. Next.
I would rather listen to Nickelback than listen to a video of his. That's how bad he is.
It's bad. And then he says, what do you mean by only in the only evolution? You have yet to explain that. I have explained. So if you want to take the position that evolution is a law or hypothesis, then debate on that, or then the debate is on. If you're going to purposely change the rules again, then you're running scared. Okay, I've told him evolution is not a law. Evolution is not a theory. However, I'll call his bluff. So one of the things you do in like college, a lot of times in debate class, or I took public speaking, you have to debate the other side. It's just a part of the course, right? You have to debate a position you don't hold. I'm so convinced that I could kick his ass that even that the evolution is a theory, I'll take the antithesis of that. I will debate the opposite side, and I still will kick his ass. That's how bad he is, right? Because when you're doing a debate, you don't have to debate like something to which you actually believe in, and the debating is who has a better case, right? We all know evolution is a theory, right? We all get this, but he's using it dishonestly, right, to maintain this narrative that it's only a theory, right? But even if he just has that as a topic of evolution as a theory, I will take the antithesis and I'll still beat him on that.
A non-sec debate gives birth to a dumpster fire. Is that a change of kinds? Oh, that's just a really disturbing image that I have. Just the nun giving birth to a dumpster fire.
And by the way, just FYI, the person that I'm hiding from the live chat is one individual with multiple accounts. He's blocked from my channel. Don't worry about him. Just I'll take care of that. I'm not even going to mention his name on air. I'll tell you afterwards.
Damn it.
Okay, so it's a troll. Everybody just wants to get rid of him, and I agree.
Thank you, Miss V. Though, by the way, thank you very much, Miss V. Appreciate that.
I know his sock accounts. Let's see here. So I even say I will argue evolution is more than a theory. It is a confirmed model which explains observations and makes predictions. Next. Now this is from my Facebook page. This is my last slide, I think. And he says, Steve McRae, oh, you mean the claims that you made when I did not answer? Right, that is you lying more. You refused to debate the topic in the same sense as I used it. Therefore, until you can debate a topic, there is no debate because you're running. You clearly stated that you would debate me on any two topics. I provided the top two topics. That is now the debate. When is the date? And I explained to him, and everybody else explained to him, the two topics were from my list that I gave him. And I thought I had a screenshot of that. Oh, I think maybe I do have one more. No, maybe not. But if you look on the very bottom, that's me screenshotting the topics that I would choose from. There's 6 of them there. I thought I had another screen, but I guess not. Sorry. Yeah, they won't be able to read that. But if you go to my page, you'll see the 6 things. I list 6 things in order of the things, and I say, from any 2 of my list, another lie I can bring to my listeners on Sunday. Thank you, because I had pointed out on my numerous times you can pick any 2 from this list, because what happened was he wanted to have this debate on Shannon Q's channel, and I insisted we have it on this channel. However, I was willing to make another compromise. I said, listen, I will have a debate with you on Shannon Q's channel because she's unbiased. She'll have a fair discussion. But if we do that, we have to have another one on NonSequitur, which means that you have to have.
She's so biased.
I know she's Canadian, dude. You could pick 2 topics, right? And that's what I was trying to explain to him. Okay, so I think that's it. You guys ready to start the videos and go from there?
Yeah. Can we? Is there a way to kind of power through the 15-minute one, because we're already at over an hour?
Yeah. I mean, it's not that long. I mean, we'll get to the meat of it, I think. So let's just kind of start the video. And by the way, does everybody think that I've got a good case so far? I'm kind of curious. I mean, I've laid the groundwork, and now I'm going to show the evidence for it. I've laid the charges. These are all the accusations I'm making. Now we're going to give the evidence. Dave?
It's amazing that you want to ask if people agree with you or not.
Which video?
Absolutely amazing.
Which video
I'm
am
curious.
I going to?
You always get some that don't, and I'd like to find out if there's some. I mean, again, this is steel manning. If somebody doesn't agree, I want to hear it. That's what you do when you steel man. I want to get the best possible case possible.
Bye, Scientist Mel. Thank you for all of your super chats and for stopping in.
No.
Okay. So which video am I doing first?
The hangout with Matt Slick and Andrew Rappaport.
Okay.
We have someone who's kind of becoming a regular here, Matt. Goes by the name of Brenda, but it is a guy. So he says he's got a question for you. So I think he's been here the last 3 or 4 weeks. So you can unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question.
Well, I would prefer that you use my proper pronouns and things like that. However, I don't want to get...
Okay, I did. You're a he.
Okay, pause real quick. This is already laying the groundwork for the fact that Brenda is transsexual, and I got to tell you, I'm no fan of Brenda, but I've never insulted her in any way. I've never used transgender
You're not a
as
fan
a
of
weapon.
pronouns either.
But you know what? But I've always said I'll use he and she for transgender. Always. I've always said that.
Kidding.
And I've always referred to her as a she, right? I'm fine with that. But these people, they don't want to even talk about the issues. They go right into an attack mode, right? They're this is how bigoted they are, because they're using that to discredit what she's talking about, because she's right on what she's talking about. And again, I'm no fan of her, but she's right in this video. Trust me. Okay, go on.
Don't want to get mired down in that discussion.
I'm just talking scientifically.
I don't want to get mired down in that. My question has to do with the previous. My question has to do with the previous week. Matt mentioned something about a young Earth and his belief, or apparent belief. I wasn't entirely clear. What evidence does Matt have for a young Earth?
I'm not sure how old the Earth is.
Well,
sure.
science knows how old the Earth is. It's
No,
4.5 billion years.
Stop the video for a second. The way that they're just, it's disgusting, and it's revolting. And anybody that treats anybody like that, like we have people on here all the time that I don't agree with. I don't share their ideas. I think they're 3 sheets from the wind. I think that some of them are batshit crazy. You will never catch me ever treating someone like they're less of a person in any way, shape, or form, ever. And
We've never have.
let me help you Christians who are like this out with something. If you are sincere in the fact that you want to bring souls to Christ, if that is your ultimate end goal, and that is what you, when everything's stripped down, not the bullshit, not the oh this sounds good on a Sunday is there. If that's really your goal, and that's really what you want to do, when you have hangouts or shows with me and Steve, somebody like me and Steve, or somebody like them two, them claiming that what they say comes from an all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving God, or us that treats everybody like they're decent, like they're human beings, despite what you think, despite what you believe. Where do you think people are going to go given the choice when viewing this? If you think that advances your ministry, then you're as dumb as a fucking toaster.
Yep, and even when we had our pronoun episode, we never disrespected them as far as using it against them. I don't ever use anything like that. I'm very much into supporting the transgender and gay rights and all that kind of stuff. And I think that if anytime you have to resort to that, you have a shit argument, because you're just treating people as somebody less than human. I find it to be despicable, actually.
It's disgusting.
Hold on.
Let him go.
Yeah. Science can't know.
Yes, it can.
Because it can't be observed. You're talking scientists, because science doesn't know anything.
Science doesn't know anything. I don't understand that.
Scientists know things. And scientists know that they have a horizon problem. The scientists know we have blue stars, which can't last millions of years. And that's why they assume that there must be an
okay. Hang on. Go ahead. Let me finish that real quick. Sorry.
Oort cloud that makes new comets and new stars. Scientists know.
Stop real quick. Okay, so let's. I want to quickly interject in this. There's a couple things wrong here. When we anthropomorphize things, we do it all the time. We say science knows something. There's nothing wrong with that. If I say my computer knows how to do multiple executions of things, my computer knows how to interpret something, it is anthropomorphication. It is perfectly fine. And for this idiot to call somebody out by saying science doesn't know anything, fuck you. Science knows a hell of a lot more than you do, because most normal people understand what is meant by saying science knows something, right? And he actually just said, and he says it more than once, did he not say just then that scientists posited the Oort cloud, or he's talking about the Oort cloud and blue stars, correct? Okay, so continuing on, because again, she gets more inquisitive on this. Go ahead.
Can't last millions of years, and that's why they assume that there must be an Oort cloud that makes new comets and new stars.
People want that clip played again. Can you rewind it for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds?
That was the second time, but I'll do it again.
Okay, that was a second. Okay, that's fine. Continue on.
Can't last millions of years, and that's why they assume that there must be an Oort cloud that makes new comets and new stars. Scientists know that the salt levels in the ocean continues to get saltier, and that there's not enough salt for millions of years. Scientists know that the moon pulls a little bit further away from the Earth's gravitational pull every year, and if it was millions of years old, can't possibly be. So there's a lot of things that science.
Okay, stop, pause, and we go forward after this. But okay, he's using so many bad arguments. First of all, the saltwater argument is called has long been debunked. Matter of fact, most creationists don't even bother with it anymore, because they've done more research, and they actually have a paper out that actually shows the salinity going in and salinity going out matches the model. Okay, as far as the moon recession, yes, the moon recedes at about 3 point something centimeters per year, but that's because of tidal acceleration. It's called. Basically, what's happening is that because you are losing energy to the Earth because of the tides, it's going to a higher orbit, so it's moving away from us. And the young Earth creationist argument is that if you do a linear model, if you wind back the time, that would put the Earth right next to the moon, the Earth at a certain time, way earlier than we would expect. But the problem is that model that they're using is fucking stupid, because it doesn't take into account what's called the Roche limit. It doesn't take into account the fact that the way it works with physics, it wouldn't put it near the Earth, because you have gravity affecting the Earth from the moon, and so you have this limit where any stable orbit that it has wouldn't exist, and so basically the moon would be destroyed if their model worked, right? Because you have to have a stable orbit for the moon to go around the Earth, and so that model has been completely debunked. But anyways, skip to I don't want to get into too much of those claims. Move to time 1918.
Good year.
It's hard to get it just so.
Yeah, I know.
Believe that
That's your
stars.
claim.
You believe
could
stars
research
come from
every
the
one of
Oort?
them. Have you researched blue stars?
Blue stars. That's not a classification. Where are these blue stars coming
Okay.
from? The Oort
So I'll
cloud?
take that as a no. Have you researched the salt levels in the oceans?
Okay, pause. He's condemning her. He's condemning her for not understanding this, researching blue stars in the Oort cloud. And by the way, blue stars is not a classification. No, clearly not. It's blue giants, by the way, or blue dwarfs. There are blue giants, O stars, and there's blue dwarfs. But blue stars is not really a classification. But he's condemning her for not. And by the way, she's not a dumb person. She's kind of playing dumb a little bit here. But she knows these things. She knows the arguments. So she's just kind of sussing this out with them. But he again chastises her for not knowing something completely bullshit that he made up out of his ass, right? Next, and by the way, it says millions of years old. It's billions of years old, anyways.
His
Can you
birth
go to
certificate
26?
should have been an.
Go ahead.
His birth certificate should have been an apology for a broken condom.
You know, shit, right? We have a super chat. You want to read that?
Yes, the horizon problem has little to do with the age of the Earth, and we have good solutions to it. I made a whole video on it. Ridiculous. That is from Milwaukee Atheist, and I believe that I missed one earlier too. Let me get it real quick. Andrew is striving to be an awesome whole. Yes, I would say so.
Yeah, there's two things they posited to solve the cosmic event horizon problem, which, by the way, is not a horizon problem any longer. I did a video on it myself a couple weeks ago with Landon on the no boundary principle, no boundary proposal from Hawking. The variable speed of light model and inflation solves that cosmic event horizon problem. And they realized that the variable speed model doesn't work, leaving inflation. So inflation in the Big Bang cosmology explains it, Andrew. And by the way, Andrew cannot tell me for life dependent on it even what that problem even entails. And you can go look it up. I don't want to get into technical details. I do know
also,
what this is, but I think it's
also
off track.
foot 52. Thank you for the hair, love. I got myself extra dolled up to kick Andrew's ass. So
he did. He is looking sharp. Let's move to 2016.
As is.
It doesn't
we also
show
have
that.
red blood cells in a T-Rex that we found, soft tissue in a.
No, we don't.
Ceratops. We did it.
No,
Mary Snyder never
this
found
is
red
just
blood cells.
gossip. This is just gossip that you've heard.
Okay.
This is just pseudoscience that you've heard somewhere. It's
Mary
easy to
Snyder
look these things up.
Yeah, it is. Look up Mary Snyder red blood cells T-Rex. You're going to see that
Mary
she's not a
Snyder.
Christian.
Well,
and she doesn't
maybe
like
she is
that
an
Christian.
atheist, Steve. Maybe Mary Snyder is an atheist.
Yeah, hang on. Continue that, Dave. Just wait 1 sec.
Christians use this as an argument for a young Earth. Why? Because she's an atheist.
No,
Okay, they go pause.
This is because it's bad science.
Pause.
Mary
Schweitzer.
Snyder might be an atheist.
Yeah, he gets. I told you he butchers her name not once but twice in here. Dr. Mary Schweitzer said very specifically that she did not discover red blood cells, so he's way off on base on that. And matter of fact, do you want to pop up that other video real quick?
Yeah, but can you
Dave?
prove that Mary Snyder didn't do that, Steve? Can you prove Dr. Mary Snyder?
Yeah, I mean, he's right. Mary Snyder didn't do it. He's just too stupid to know her real name. Can you pop open that other video, timestamp 433?
How long does it take for them to stabilize? And what we're finding is pretty darn cool. So, it's not this big cloudy mystery that scientists are.
If you're going to do on that video, that would be 2039 on that video we're going to be playing. 20 minutes, 39 seconds.
Is this Dr. Mary Snyder?
I thought that was the one that was she was saying she was a Christian, right?
Yeah, this where she says she's I'm sorry. This timestamp is 48 minutes and 06 seconds that we're looking at. 48:06.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. This is pretty close to it. It's really hard to
Okay.
get them dead on.
How long does it take for them to stabilize? And what we're finding is pretty darn cool. So, you know, it's not this big cloudy mystery that scientists are just sitting in their lab trying to figure out how to confuse and I don't know, destroy Christian faith. I am a Christian. I love the Lord, and I have absolutely. My God has gotten so much bigger the bigger I study science. I mean, it's really, really.
Okay.
And
pause.
I don't want to waste time on other issues like how old is the Earth. I mean.
Okay. Well, I'm glad
like you're bad astronomy.
I'm glad that you're claiming that the atheist community.
Sorry.
That's okay. So from her own mouth, she is a Christian. She's been on interviews being a Christian. Now he said she was an atheist. This is one of the claims that I made. I made very clear that my Twitter thing that you are accusing her of being an atheist. He claimed I lied on that. He very clearly said that she's an atheist, and he does them more than once. Can we cue Apologia's video real quick?
Yeah.
At timestamp 433. And by the way, I forgot to ask Apologia if I can use the video. Hey Paul, can I use your video? Thanks. I'll put the link in the video description, obviously, to the all this when we're done.
This
In
is a
fact,
good
I'm
series.
going to put the whole.
This is a good series,
By the way, if you guys,
folks. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys do not know Apologia's series, go. Oh my God, it's the best.
Supposed blood cell finds. Dr. Schweitzer, has anyone found any blood cells in dinosaur bones?
Do we have blood cells? No, we do not have blood cells. I don't have the data to support that.
Mary's original 2005 paper described her findings as small round microstructures, and these microstructures have cell-like morphology. Again, cell-like is very different from actually being cells, as the Genesis movie might have you believe.
And that's what I mean. Words are really, really important. We have round red structures that localize.
Yes, they are very important. He actually has said that she discovered blood cells. She has said she didn't. He accused her of being an atheist. She's not. Can we go real quick to, I think I got 2002 in the Matt Slick video. We're going to do 2 more clips and then Kyle's going to take over. So 20
Community
minutes,
does bad
2
science.
seconds.
Thank you.
I'm in.
2002.
Yep. I think I got that right.
I love Paul's voice.
It's hard to get these dead on.
No idea, but you were able to claim that I was absolutely wrong. And the third one, you admit that I'm right.
You are.
No,
So-
you're not right.
I'm not, so you didn't just agree that the moon is pulling away.
It does not. It does. You cannot conclude from this that we have a young Earth because the moon
I didn't
is
say
moving
that.
away. You did.
I said that what that shows is that the Earth can't possibly be millions of years old if everything stays as is.
It doesn't
We also
show
have
that.
red blood cells in a T-Rex.
Okay, so I wanted to debate him on the age of the Earth for this very thing. He does believe the Earth is young. One last clip, if I can. Can you go to 21 minutes and 30 seconds? Because I just really want that that quote to be highlighted, because this is the quote that I gave him, and when he called me a liar on this, here it is. So this is the last part of the video.
Well, there isn't a thing as an Oort cloud.
There is not such a thing as the Oort cloud.
No, it's never been observed. An Oort cloud is a theory that was come up to explain how comets and blue stars could possibly exist, because they can't possibly last millions of years.
So you
There you
think
go.
blue stars are?
Gee,
There you go.
I recall this thing in this book that they hold so dear
Touchdown.
called "Thou shalt not lie."
I think that's a commandment, if I'm not mistaken. Am I not? I think it's like number 9, maybe?
Well,
8.999 repeating?
It's a good thing that God only sends people to hell for not believing and not for being a complete idiot, because Andrew Rappaport would be a toasted marshmallow if that were the case.
And by the way, I will one second. I'll put the links to all these things in here. Go watch this other video, because they make other mistakes too. They talk about epigenetics and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about epigenetics. They get it all wrong. They talk about Andrew Rappaport says that the reason the stars are blue is because of heat. No, Andrew, it's because of temperature. Temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the system, but heat, that's not what it is. It's ridiculous how wrong these artists in science are, and here they are trying to chastise Brenda about her lack of knowledge of science, and she's not that bad at this stuff. But they have no room to
we're going to
stop.
jump
These guys
into
are
it.
fucking idiots. All right, thank you very much.
We're going to jump into we're going to jump into a another aspect of this genius's ministry, in which he posted a video last week called "Witnessing to LGBTQM+." And if you are wondering, the M in that, if it doesn't sound familiar, is because it's not. It's an add-on that he has chosen that he wants to kind of adhere to. He didn't make up the same, the abbreviation, but nonetheless, it stands for minor attracted persons, or pedophiles. It's a new slang term for pedophiles, and he's lumping them with people who are homosexual, transgendered, non-binary, that sort of thing. And where he messes up, first of all, is when he uploaded this video. Dave, can we go to 620 to start out with? Let's hear it from his own words.
Reason why we must go out and witness
I don't hear anything.
to LGTB people. Okay? Most of us, if I ask to raise their hands, how many people would like to just avoid them altogether? Right? They have the same feeling toward us, and that's the problem. They don't get to meet genuine Christians who are willing to love and care for them. Why? Because of what Pastor was just talking about. This social justice movement has created such a divide that it's like, no, the two sides don't talk. I want you to take to heart what he said at the end of his message. We disagree with the policies. We disagree with what they're stating. It's the people we love. We have to care for them because they're on their way to hell. Okay? And so we want to make sure that's really clear. All right?
Okay. I'll stop right there. Okay. I'm going to try during this to not let my emotions overtake my objectivity here. But in all that we've seen tonight, in all of the examples of this individual, his lying, his treatment of other people, he just said in front of this group of people at this church that he is charged with not hating what they consider the sin, but loving the sinner, loving the person. Now I ask you, is the behavior of the individual that you just saw in that hangout with Matt Slick and Brenda, was that an example of someone that is loving? Is that an example of someone that is showing God's love to another individual? Or is that a person that's saying, the way that you are, the way that you feel makes me uncomfortable, and because it makes me uncomfortable, I can treat you any way, shape, or form that I want to? Now, this right here is just your first indicator of someone, like a lot of preachers do, let's be honest, that get up on a pulpit because they're in front of a group of people in a church, and they spout off all of this stuff, this all feel good, let's love each other, let's be more inclusive. I guarantee you, it's not the LGBTQ community that's trying to be exclusive. They're working and doing everything that they can to be more inclusive. That's mostly coming from one direction, and it's evidenced based on the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde that you just saw here. All right, so Dave, let's go to 1439.
I don't call it a story. These are historical accounts. The historical account of Ananias and Sapphira. So,
okay, you can stop right there, Dave.
Starting in Acts 5, verse 1.
I put this in here to give you a map of his mindset. He doesn't consider the Bible to be anything but anything associated with stories. He doesn't consider it to be allegory. These are historical events that happened in this book, and that's going to be important as we go along through the rest of the video. All right, so we're going to go now to 2850. And basically what he's doing now, the whole reason for this sermon is he is instructing these people on the best ways to reach LGBTQ people, the best way to witness to them, the best way to get them to see the error of their ways and come to a relationship with God. So he's getting ready to talk about his experience at the, I believe it was San Francisco Gay Pride Parade. So we'll just listen to that now.
Must have. Why is it that I would go in Cleveland to a gay pride parade? It was the first gay pride parade, and actually the pride parade ended by the time we got there. Why would I go there? I'll be honest with you. I never wanted to go to a gay pride parade, not because I don't like the people. I don't like what they do at those parades. Okay? But we went out after the parade ended, and we were on the outskirts, so they were going to walk past us so we could share the gospel with them. Why would I go? Because almost every single person there, I don't know all their hearts, so I'm going to say almost, probably all, are going, when they die, to end up in hell. Why? Because they violated God's law. That's why.
Okay. All right, stop. Okay. Let me make one thing clear, you fucking idiot. Gay people don't violate God's law. They merely want to love who they love without some bozo that looks like every stereotypical gangster's slow cousin in a movie. It looks like he just got out of a gangster movie. Telling them how they should live their life, telling them who they should love, telling them when they should do what. They want to be distant from that. They don't want anything special from you. They're not asking for anything extra. They're merely asking to be left alone. And that bothers you, that other people don't want what you have. They don't want that special gift that you can offer. They're not buying into that lie that's been told through centuries over and over and over again. And for some reason, that really bothers you. Now, let's look at the sin, or how they are disrespecting God, how they're going against God's word, okay? Mostly it's pulled from the verse that says, if a man lies with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both are an abomination, and surely he will be put to death. Okay? So, I went and found a verse that I think could be a rebuttal to that. Let's see how someone like you would answer Deuteronomy 22:13 through 21. A marriage shall be considered valid only if the wife is a virgin. If not, she will be executed. Do we follow that law? Or if you want a wife and she's not a virgin, are you putting them to death?
Nope.
So why the fuck would I take anybody seriously that picks and chooses which ones they want to follow? That just because one makes them uncomfortable, they're going to hang that on being one that just made it through the cut. We decided to forget about the non-virgin wives. They can get married. But this one, no. It's laughable. It's so laughable that you are able to stand up there behind a podium and make claims like that people are going to burn in hell because they broke God's law, when everyone, according to some verse in the Bible, has done the same thing. And you can't give a valid reason on why one is unforgivable and worthy of roasting alive for eternity. You're a joke. An absolute joke.
I bet he's wearing mixed fabrics right there.
So, let's go to 34:54.
Nonsense. Because they say, well, we have science. Everything. You guys don't have science. Six literal days? Really? Donkeys talking? Really? Axe heads floating? I mean, that's not science. You guys believe in magic and fairy tales. Actually, no. Magic is believing that there was absolutely nothing and then boom, everything. That's magic. Because there was nothing in the beginning, and nothing, by the power of nothing, with nothing influencing it, and nothing around it, did everything. That's magic. A being creating, yeah, we've seen that before. Not out of nothing. So, and as far as fairy tales, I don't know.
So, obviously, he understands nothing about, and Steve can go into, I'm sure, don't Steve, but he doesn't understand the nothing from nothing, obviously.
Nope. You know what? You could just say Andrew doesn't understand X and put anything you want for X at that point anymore. He doesn't understand anything.
Right.
He understands nothing, that's for sure.
He doesn't even understand that.
He doesn't even understand nothing. Right.
It's like an exception.
But the way that he just explains it off, I mean, he is so dishonest. He's such a, like, it's, ugh. I can't even,
He makes you want to take 2 showers when we're done with this. I literally am going to go take a shower with this, but I feel like I want to take 2. That's how dirty I feel.
Okay, so now let's go to 36. I've got 2 more timestamps that I want to get in here. Let's go to 36 minutes.
You don't know that can't happen that way. It can't. Given enough time. It's fun to watch them like try to answer against it. But you know what we end up seeing with the LGBTQ? You have people arguing, well, I know I was born male, but I identify as a female. I know I was born male, but I have a desire against the natural inclinations of men for other men. Okay, if we are just a bag of chemical reactions, as the atheists try to argue, then guess what? A male is going to act according to his chemistry and be male and like females. Because that's what his chemistry is. That's what his biology is. They've given that up for something that they say how they identify. Well, guess what? You've just given up atheism. You've given up atheism when you argue for homosexuality or for transgender, because you've said that there's this part of you that's a chemical base and you just react based on chemicals, but then there's this other thing. Christians call it a soul.
Dave. All right, Dave. Let me ask you, if he would do a simple search, okay? Homosexuality is prevalent in nature. Prevalent. You don't have to go that far to see examples of animals, other animals in home. I mean, does he think that they are choosing that as well? I mean, Steve, is he saying that the penguins are choosing?
They want to go to their biological
vaginas.
Norm. Yeah.
Vaginas.
No, homosexuality is, we do find it in many other species. It's not uncommon. So if you want to say it's unnatural, then what the hell you mean by that? Because it is natural because it exists in nature. That's what natural literally means.
And so what if someone wants to identify as something other than what they were born with? If the people who aren't attached to a religion have the freedom to do that, they're not forced to be unhappy in a body they don't feel comfortable in. Like religion would damn you to, unless, like transgender reality is an exception to the rule. But they would be content with you living a miserable life as someone that you don't feel you are. So it's insulting to hear him get up there and say that it's unnatural or it goes against nature. It doesn't. It's completely natural. All right, Dave. 3858. Here's where I think that we might be getting to the meat of why Andrew Rappaport has such a boner for homosexuality.
Now, Pastor had mentioned in his message that we need to be able to connect with people. And this is a missing thing within Christianity. Let me explain to you. There was an article in the 80s on Homosexual Magazine. I always have to feel like I have to explain why I read a homosexual magazine in the 80s. I was in college. I was the only people during Christmas break was me, my RA, and a couple foreign students. My RA came in drunk one night, and he said he found something in the janitor's closet and wanted me to read it. It was a homosexual magazine. To this day, he was a little drunk. I kind of think he might have put that there. I wanted to see what my reaction would be to the magazine itself. But that's a different thing. I think he might have had different inclinations. But I read the article. Here was what the article basically said. The article was a way to make homosexuality
He answered it right there. But my question was going to be, did he throw the magazine away in disgust? Or
no, he probably still hasn't.
Did he sit down with the porn magazine and read the article that was in it?
He was reading the articles. Like,
he read it.
You know,
he was
I gotta tell you, as a kid,
quote unquote, reading the articles like people do with Playboy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like I said. When I was a kid, I didn't even know they had photos in Playboy. I just completely read the articles, and I was like, oh, I found out one day, oh, they got boobs. That's how it works, right? I'm gonna stick with that story.
Andrew Rappaport. I see rainbow beams bouncing off of you like the Christmas tree down in Times Square at Christmas time. That was so transparent, and if you think that you could in church coast through a story about a drunk dorm mate coming in, finding a homosexual magazine in the janitor's closet, and bringing it to you drunk, bringing it to you drunk, saying, look at this gay magazine I found in the closet. What was I doing in the janitor's closet? Who knows, but I found a gay magazine. Let's read the articles together. You are literally the biggest cunt I have ever seen in my entire fucking life.
We've all been there, haven't we? Had this happen to us daily. I have it, all the time.
I'll tell you what, I've got a good gaydar, and it's pinging like a motherfucker with you, Rappaport.
An illogical assertion, then you have no leg to stand on, sir.
Boom. Okay, so
all
right, so let's go to 4140.
While he's looking for that, real quick, can I just touch on something because we kind of glossed over it? But you guys, can I put this on my Twitter?
Read that super chat then.
Two things. So let me read the super chat real quick. From Flint, why can't people stay out of other people's lives? It never fails to confuse or annoy me. I agree. But did you guys catch that he says once you start promoting homosexuality and transgender, you're no longer an atheist? He actually said that. He literally made that argument that if you promote or endorse or something, whatever the thing he said, the word he said, that you are no longer an atheist. It's like, oh, you have no idea. He doesn't know shit about atheism. He doesn't know shit about anything. I'm just frustrated.
He knows a gay magazine when he
sees fucking retarded. He knows a gay magazine. You know what? I'm sure. I bet he could tell you who was on what page. Another super chat. 123 or 132. Kyle and Steve are both on point with the monologuing today. Fantastic, fan freaking tastic. Thank you. But I gotta tell you, I'm getting a little bit upset at this point.
I have one more thing to say. We'll play this last clip, and then I'm going to wrap up my position. Go ahead, Dave.
City with guys in tutus dancing in front of you. There's a video out there somewhere of that. But I went out to Cleveland, and the interesting thing was I stood up proclaiming the gospel, and I had this book in my hand. And I was told that I was homophobic, judgmental, and hateful. And I said, why? Because the book you hold in your hand.
Right there. Yes. Because the book you hold in your hand, Andrew. You finally got something right. It was that book that for centuries, millennia, have divided people pitted people against others for reasons that we later found out through science were of no fault of their own, whether it be their genetics, their race, things that we couldn't explain, like witchcraft. How many people did we burn at the stake? How many witches did we hang? Did we crush with boulders? Did we drown? How many years passed unnecessarily with people in chains, in cotton fields, over a book? That book. He says this book so casually, but how much blood is on that book? How much? How many families torn? How many lives lost by their own hands because they didn't feel like they were meant to be here because of the instructions that book gave to treat people down here. It's always been used as a divisive tool. It always will be used as a divisive tool. And I want to close with this. There's no data, facts, or shred of evidence that links homosexuality or people who are trans or non-binary to pedophiles. Zero. Nada. Zilch. What this is it's a pathetic attempt to try to condition people who listen to it into associating a negative feeling, a negative connotation to a group of people if they hear it enough. If they get that M in there, if it becomes LGBTQM+, then that pedophile moniker sticks with that. It goes with it. It goes with the community. But since there's no evidence for that, I propose that we take the M off of LGBTQM and we put it where it belongs. Because there is a community with data and facts and grand jury reports popping up all over the world where that M belongs. It's the Christian community. Pop that M where it really goes. Because instead of minor attracted people, it's more appropriately titled minor attractive priests. And there's only one place you find priests. That's with you fucking Christians.
Exactly. All right, we got some super chats, and I may have missed it, but did we actually play the? I want to make sure we have it on this video. Did we play the part where he talks about maps extensively, and that he relates them to the LGBTQ community? Because I don't remember seeing that video on here, but I've watched so many videos that I don't know if we actually got that clip on this. Did we, David?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't timestamp that. No.
Okay. Do you want to get that on there? I think it's appropriate because the name of this video that he's talking is called "The Witnessing to the LGBTQM+," and he's making the argument that M+ is minor attracted person, and he's trying to do exactly what Kyle said, that relating pedophilia to the LBG community, which has overwhelmingly rejected, this narrative that these pedophiles want to be part of their community, right? So can we play that?
Throw up throw up the screenshots too, because this is another thing that he lied about, where he said that it wasn't his video. It's not his video, but it's him preaching in his video, and he didn't disavow the M.
If you need a timestamp, it's 7 minutes 10 seconds.
7 minutes 10 seconds. Got it.
I already have it queued. That's why I didn't remember hearing it. But the outside chat, you guys need to hear this because this is exactly what it is. And while he's queuing that, we'll read the couple more super chats. Cajun, a down payment of $50 for when Rappaport or Paraport and his gay prostitute scandal. I give it a year or two tops. So he gets a $5 down payment. Thank you. David Dallafor, he doesn't have a third leg to stand on. Yeah, he has no cock. That's why. The only thing he has is a cock holder. That's his
I bet
mouth.
his boyfriend does, though.
Yeah. The Goddess I win, $5. During the middle of giving his friend head, he asked, "Is this gay?" I think if the lights are off, it's not. This is what I've heard.
Yeah.
Or if there's no eye contact.
And if you're hiding behind an Oort cloud, either I don't think that counts.
Yeah.
All right, let's play.
Dave, you got that queued up?
Got it queued.
BQM+. You know what all of those stand for? Maybe not. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, but now queer is also questioning. M, anyone know what M stands for? M stands for MAPS. What's a MAP?
Right.
Minor attracted
Minors
people.
against
We used
priests.
to call it pedophilia. Rename it, now it has a new name. Now it's just a hey, this is my, this is how I'm born. The plus is so that they could just add on as they need, because it's not going to stop. I'm going to ask you to turn,
Well,
I know you're going to.
All right,
We've already
that's fine.
fixed that, Andrew. You take ownership of that now. The M is not on the LGBTQ community, and where you got off that you could ever put that over here when you've got all of that shit going on in your own backyard is laughable. You are laughable. You are a joke in a suit. The oh God Almighty!
Let me, one last super chat. Then
if there,
go ahead.
yeah. No, go ahead.
All right. Personally, I'm a straight. Some Flint Reed. 5 pounds. Personally, I'm a straight atheist, but my life is better and more interesting because I have gay friends and straight friends and trans friends too. And I agree. And what I got to say to Andrew, and I'm gonna let Kyle wrap it up. But the only thing I got to say to him is, Andrew, you're the reason if God exists, He created the middle finger. So fuck you.
Yeah, and I would just sum it up by saying that Andrew, if you were to fall on your way home into a frozen lake, that would be unfortunate. But if somebody dragged you out, that would be a tragedy. Okay, so we will see you guys back.
We'll be back tonight.
We see you guys back tonight at 8 o'clock. We will be tackling a difficult but important topic. All seriousness today.
No, it's kind of depressing, isn't it? We have to have a really good dumpster fire soon. Then.
Yeah. The New Zealand has a problem that they introduced themselves with possums. And the way they're handling that is they're dropping capsules of 1080 poison. It's not only killing off the possums in a horrible way, but it's also affecting the animals that are around that area. Dogs, cats, and even one child, I understand, has gotten a hold of this. So it's not a good situation. And we're going to find out why it continues to be a situation, why they're not doing something better, and what we can do to try to help that, because even if they are considered pests, that's no way to do anything living. I mean, that's just my that's just not a way to do living things. So we will tackle that at 8 o'clock. There's one more super chat. Steve, do you want to knock that out?
Yes, this is from our favorite reporter, Katie, without a crystal ball. Thank you. She says, that clip right there is why I call him a flipping awesome hole.
Yep. I agree. And now what we will do, Andrew Rappaport, before we close out, let me tell you this. Well, Steve, you know that feeling that you get sometimes, Steve, or I'm sure we've all had it at one point or another. You feel like you just haven't hit that part of your life yet, or there's something missing, that deep down in the back of your mind, everyone maybe hates you, or they're talking behind you or behind your back sometimes. I know we've all felt that way at one point or another, but Andrew, that's you. And you are. And it's all because of the choices and the decisions that you've made and the religion you've decided to follow. We've spent 2 hours on you tonight. That will be all that you get from us. We will never mention you again. Number one, because you're so easily forgettable. There's nothing exuberant about you. You're just another hateful, bigoted, deceitful, lying con in a suit. And just like the rest of them throughout history, you will be put on a shelf as of right now and instantly forgotten. We'll see you at 8 o'clock, everybody.
Good night.
Non-sequitur. Your facts are uncoordinated.